My girlfriend of 3 years knew I was child-free, then changed her mind while I was moving in. Plus, 3 updates. My girlfriend of 3 years knew I was child-free from our very first date. I told her I would never have kids. She said she felt the same way. 3 years later, while I was literally carrying boxes into her apartment, she told me she had changed her mind. She wanted kids, and she expected me to change too. I met Jenna when I was 28 years old. We matched on a dating app. My profile clearly stated that I was child-free. Jenna's profile said the same thing. On our first date, I brought it up directly. I told her this was not negotiable for me. I told her I had known since I was a teenager that I didn't want children. I told her I had a vasectomy at 25. She said she completely understood. She said she had never wanted kids either. She said her family pressured her about it constantly, but she had made up her mind years ago. She said she was relieved to finally meet someone who wouldn't try to change her. We dated for 3 years. We talked about the future constantly. We talked about traveling. We talked about retiring early. We talked about all the things we could do because we wouldn't have kids. We were on the same page about everything. When Jenna asked me to move in with her, I was excited. I gave notice to my landlord. I packed up my entire life. I rented a moving truck. I started bringing boxes over on a Saturday morning. I was carrying the 3rd box through her door when she stopped me. She said we needed to talk. She was sitting on the couch looking nervous. She said she had been doing a lot of thinking. She said her sister just had a baby, and holding her nephew had changed something inside her. She said she wanted to be a mother. She said she knew this wasn't what we had discussed, but feelings change. She said she hoped I would consider changing my mind too. I stood there with half my belongings in her living room and the other half still in the truck. I asked her how long she had been feeling this way. She said about 6 months. 6 months. She had known for 6 months that she wanted kids. She had asked me to move in 3 months ago. She had watched me pack up my apartment and end my lease, knowing full well she was going to drop this on me. I asked her why she didn't tell me sooner. She said she was hoping she would get over it. She said she was hoping I would eventually come around on my own. I told her I had a vasectomy. She said those could be reversed. I told her I didn't want to reverse it. She started crying. She said she loved me and didn't want to lose me. She said maybe we could compromise. I asked her how exactly we were supposed to compromise on having children. She didn't have an answer. I loaded my boxes back into the truck that same day. I called my landlord and begged him to let me stay. He had already rented my apartment to someone else. I spent the next month sleeping on my brother's couch while I looked for a new place. Jenna called me constantly. She sent long texts about how we could work through this. She sent articles about men who changed their minds after becoming fathers. I didn't respond to any of it. Update 1. 2 weeks after I moved out, Jenna's mother called me. She told me I was making a huge mistake. She told me Jenna was the best thing that ever happened to me. She told me I would regret not having children when I was old and alone. She told me real men want families. I hung up on her. Update 2. 3 months later, I found out through mutual friends that Jenna was already dating someone new. A guy from her church who had 2 kids from a previous marriage. She had posted photos of them on social media, looking like a happy family. I felt sick when I heard that. Not because I was jealous, because it confirmed what I had suspected. Jenna had been hoping to change me from the beginning. She had lied on her dating profile. She had lied on our first date. She had lied for 3 years. She was never child-free. She was just willing to pretend until she could convince me to want them. Update 3. It's been a year now. I'm living in a nice apartment by myself. I'm dating someone new. Her name is Allison. She had a 2-ball ligation at 30 because she knew she never wanted kids. We talked about it on our first date, just like I did with Jenna. But this time I asked follow-up questions. I asked about her family's opinions. I asked if she had ever wavered. I asked if she could see herself ever changing her mind. She answered every question without hesitation. She said her decision was permanent. I believe her. But I also learned something important from what happened with Jenna. Words are easy. Actions are what matter. Jenna said all the right things for 3 years. But when it came time to actually commit to a child-free life, she couldn't do it. I won't make that mistake again. Some people know exactly what they want. Some people think they know until something changes. And some people lie because they think they can change you later. Jenna was the 3rd kind. I'm glad I found out before we got married. I'm glad I found out before she stopped taking birth control without telling me. I'm glad I found out at all. The boxes I carried back to that truck were heavy, but not as heavy as a lifetime of raising kids I never wanted. I'll take the boxes every time.